live streaming podcast. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go. No, I'm just kidding. This should be an interesting night. We got some really big talent that is taking time out of his day to come and talk to us about some of the things that he's working on. So, and in order to introduce him, well, first of all, my name's Scotty Carlisle.
Jake Itamura. So this podcast, the whole idea is we're focused on thriving in 2025, and it's really about everybody reaching their goals. So, we have this event. It's free if you guys want to come out in Eastvale. The podcast, if you want to take it a step further, we have an online community where we want and encourage everybody to actually post what their goals are. And as a group, we help each other reach those goals, keep each other accountable, and share the resources that we all have to make it happen. So that's really the goal of what we're trying to do here.
I'm so happy you're here for that because I would have totally skipped over all that.
Yeah. Why are we here?
Yeah. Awesome, man. Teamwork. You see, that's why teamwork's important. So speaking of that, Marissa, would you like to come up and introduce our guest?
Yes.
Here.
And I wanted to introduce David because he is one of the first people that ever took a chance on me as my leader. And I just so happened to get like a ticket to the installations for the chamber. And I had a $10 thrift store dress. And I'm in line. And I remembered he was part of Cinco de Mayo. And Joey Bear did like parking lot attending. And I remember when he got a two-way. Oh my gosh, when he got a two-way one year, he's like, Marissa, I've elevated. I got a two-way now with the parking lot, and to me, the way he lit up about Cinco de Mayo, what an honor, So I wanted to get in. And anyway, I gave him my card and he said, we got a Zoom meeting. Then they all said, we vote that Marissa is the Queen Contest chairwoman. Like, huh? I've never been a queen. They said, no, we think she's fit for it. Let's go. And that was decided. So I had to research because I don't want to look like an idiot. And anyway, David, thank you. So when we were doing Thriving in 2025, I couldn't not think of David because he's also a father, a really good husband. I could go on, but I'll let him talk now. So thank you. Here is David Brambilla, somebody I really look up to. That's bringing Hispanic heritage to stay alive in Corona. I respect you so much, man. And also that you know where you come from. You always have that in your heart. Thank you.
Awesome. Good introduction. Come on up, man. Right. Okay, so now everybody wants to hear all your secrets. What you got?
All right. Marissa, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. As we are moving through life, we're going to meet a lot of people that look up to you and you don't even realize it. You think you're just doing your thing day to day, and there's people out there that are actually watching what you're doing, and they thrive on what you're doing. And when somebody like Marissa comes up and says, hey, I want to get involved in one of your projects, of course, open arms. Anytime somebody has enthusiasm and has the heart to volunteer, definitely got to embrace those. So, well, pretty quick, I'm going to give you my quick story. My name's David Brambilla, and I am actually call myself a forcedpreneur. What's a forcedpreneur?
I haven't heard that one yet.
In 2005, I was forced to become an entrepreneur. That was during the Great Recession. What was it called again?
It's probably not that.
The Great Recession. The Great Recession. Anyway, I worked for a printing company for 15 years, and in 2005 they decided to play with my pay and my bonuses and my commission, and it just didn't make sense anymore to go drive to Orange County to Irvine. So I had a 3-day-old baby, Jacob. He's now 14. Made sure he was healthy, made sure I had him on my insurance plan. and I quit my job after 15 years working for this company. So one of the first companies I opened up was this marketing company, Greta Marketing. I've been doing that for 14 years now. That same year, again, you don't know what life's going to bring you. You don't know where your next paycheck's coming. I also got my broker's license. So I opened up my own brokerage called Brambilla Properties. It has now become Romeo Echo Real Estate. And we help veterans and their families and the general public become homeowners and help them sell their properties as well.
Yeah, man.
So one of the things about being on your own and being forced to do your own thing and earn a living is all of a sudden you have this extra time. You have time for your day. You can schedule appointments whenever you want. You can get back to your community. And so that's one of the things I've done in the last 14 years. I've been involved with a lot of nonprofits. One of them is the Corona Cinco de Mayo Committee. We've raised almost $300,000 for Corona Norco Unified School District
Wow.
graduating seniors. We just had our 50th anniversary. I am also a member of the Chamber of Commerce, board director for the Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber Foundation. American Legion, I don't know, walked into a Legion about 8 years ago. For those of you that don't know what a Legion is, it's a veteran organization, members only. Once the veterans get out, they join this organization. It kind of helps them assimilate back into society. And when you surround yourself with other veterans, it just makes the process a lot easier. A lot of the vets have issues that they're dealing with, and it's hard to communicate with the regular doctors and the regular civilians about what they're going through. So going to the American Legion and having those events around other veterans and their families really help bring down the guard, and veterans are able to speak freely. So I was a commander of the American Legion in Corona. I then became the commander of District 21, which is Riverside County, 17 American Legions. After that, I became the commander for 5th area, which is all of Southern California, 105 American Legions. And if you can see my brochure, I'm campaigning right now to be the commander for the Department of California. The whole state, it's 410 legions, and this is all volunteer. I'm not getting a paycheck. You know, it takes up a lot of my time, but, you know, as we're going through life and we're navigating, you know, you're in our suits, you want to get dressed up, and you're chasing that mighty check, that mighty dollar. What's your purpose? What is your purpose in life? Is it to be chasing that dollar, to work overtime, to be away from your family? So I found my purpose, and my purpose is to help veterans and the community as much as I can. So that takes up a lot of my
Yeah,
time.
I gotta give you some applause for that. That's very much needed.
Yeah.
It's very much needed.
So, you know, that question, what's your purpose? You know, somebody asked me that probably about 5 years ago, caught me off guard. I didn't know what my purpose was. And as he kept asking me, what's your purpose? What's your purpose? You realize, what is it? Where is it that you're putting your time and effort into, where it gives you warmth in your heart? It makes you happy. And so volunteering to me and helping makes me happy. And so that's what keeps the feet going. Marissa asked me earlier today, you know, I have all these projects, these businesses. How do I work all these plates all at once? Well, it takes a team. You got to surround yourself with positive people. Positivity is important. If you find yourself with people that are complaining and bringing you down or not happy for what you're doing, cut them out of your life. There really is no reason to have those kind of people around, because if you feel in your heart that what you're doing is good, that's all you need. And if you have the support of your family, you need nothing else. Support your family and what your heart's telling you to do, go ahead and chase that dream. So, you know, being in real estate, helping veterans and our community is great. You know, being in marketing and selling, printing and business cards and promotional items and all that other stuff is great. Puts food on the table. But really, what really I get up every morning is for that purpose. Is what is it that I got to do next to help the next person? Right now, we're gearing up for Cinco de Mayo in about 4 months now. So we're about to kick that off, meet with the city, get our volunteers going, figure out how many scholarships we're going to give out this year. So after that, it's Memorial Day. Got to make sure I put on the Memorial Mall March at the city of Corona. So I'm the co-chair of that event with the Chamber Foundation. And we got to make sure we have, 200-300 people walking to honor our veterans, and also just put on the event to give awareness. So every month I'm doing something. There's some kind of event, something that I'm doing. I'm going to be in Chino Hills this weekend, Saturday and Sunday with my family. Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be putting on a class and talking to veterans and having a meeting. Monday, back to work, and just keep pushing, keep that positive energy going. One thing that I've noticed is that if you slow down, that can be a detriment. You cannot take a break is one thing. Have your sanity, go and do something you like, a hobby. But once you say, I'm going to stop this for X amount of time, that X amount of time becomes an infinite amount of time.
Inertia, man. It's a real thing.
Yeah. So, as busy as I am, you just got to go through it. Got to keep pushing it. Surround yourself with good people. Have a great team. And don't be afraid to hand things off. And don't be afraid to say no. A lot of people ask for you to do things, volunteer for that, or help me with this, help me with that. If you're stretched too thin and you can't really do a good job, you got to be able to say no.
How much time do you devote to the nonprofit feel good stuff compared to business, got to pay my bills stuff?
I'd say I probably put in about 20 to 30 hours a week on volunteer and about 40 hours a week, 30 to 40 hours a week on work. So, and sometimes there's overlapping. When I go to the Legion, there's a lot of potential customers there that I talk to and I help them out. One of the things with veterans is one of the benefits that we get is to be able to use our VA loan. So me being a veteran and having 14 years of real estate experience helps me put these families and veterans into homes.
And that's also important because I know if somebody has a VA loan compared to like just a normal standard loan, there are definitely benefits. So if you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to miss out. But obviously if you specialize with vets, then you know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the real estate market it's kind of tricky. There's not enough inventory. The interest rates are high. So people that have homes that want to sell, doesn't make sense for them to sell. They have a 3% interest rate to buy at 6 or 7%. So there isn't that much inventory. So when there is inventory and a veteran can get in, having somebody that's an advocate for them really makes a difference.
I want to go back to what you're saying about the forced entrepreneur. That's there. A lot of people who get in that situation, they don't always resort to like, hey, I'm going to start my own business. Even though they may be forced to be, they may, search for another job or something. What gave you the confidence or even the idea to try to go in business with yourself? What do you think gave you that push?
I think my wife really pushed me. She believed in me before I believed in myself. And having her really believe in me and push me and motivate me to just do it, David. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And planning, I didn't quit my job overnight. It took almost a year of planning. I stuck it out at less pay. And at that time, I was almost ready to lose my house. I had repossession people coming to pick up my RV and my vehicles. And I mean, it got tough. So it took a year of planning. And finally, when we were ready and we had enough saved up, we had 6 months of reserves saved up to be able to do that. So if it didn't work in 6 months, I was gonna go out and look for a job. Thank goodness after 2 months it became profitable, and yeah. Forward from there.
So with the marketing, that skill set helps you in both real estate and also I'm sure with the Legion and helping veterans, because a lot of people are starting their own business. how much of the marketing do you do compared to real estate?
I do about 85% marketing and 15% real estate. Marketing really it is a skill set. But at the end of the day, um, marketing is really telling a story. How do you tell a story effectively? We all have stories to tell. Our businesses, personal, nonprofits. We got to figure out what that story is and what is the best avenue to market that story to the masses, whether it's social media, whether it's print, whether it's boots on the ground, network events, chamber events, ribbon cutting ceremonies. All of that is all connected to telling your story effectively.
So there are a lot of vets out there that have some pretty crazy stories. Do you, you know, so like on the side of depression and anxiety, and there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of vets with those specific issues. Are you doing anything to help them address that? Because how I see it, if you can put on a front that everything is fine, and you go out there and get your business card out and you're dressed nice, but inside you're dying, right? And so eventually it's going to catch up to you. And that is part of the problem with vets because, punch me in the face. Thank you. Let me have another. It's that mentality, right? And you're going to front like everything is fine, but inside crack, right? And at some point it does catch up with you. And then that's why, unfortunately, I don't know what the numbers are currently, but I know 22 vets a day were committing suicide. And that's horrible. So do you do anything, or are you involved with anything that's helping them overcome those feelings inside and helping them address that?
Absolutely. So one of the reasons why I'm an advocate for the American Legion is specifically to help veterans. When I walked into a post 8 years ago, morale was low. You could just walk in, you could just suck the energy out of the room. It was bad. The Korean veterans had their head down. The Vietnam veterans couldn't look you in the eye. The war on terror veterans, there was only a handful of them. So you kind of you can tell that just the room, you read a room, there's high energy, low energy, and wow, this is depressing. Some of these legions, when you walk in, it's bad. And the only way that you're going to be able to help somebody is actually be there, be in the trenches with them, be there at the moment. So I go to a lot of veteran events. I always ask, how you doing, brother or sister? Anything I can help you with? And I hand them my card. If you'd like to talk to me, please give me a ring. Let's talk. And so I have received phone calls with people saying, hey, thank you for giving me your card. And then they're having issues with the VA. They can't navigate. They're frustrated. They're about to do something stupid because their financial situation is bad, when really it can be fixed with paperwork. They just need help navigating through that. So sometimes it's an easy, here, we can do this, we can do that. But we are losing 22 veterans a day. That number is actually higher because it doesn't account for active duty or the Coast Guard. So that number is really probably close to 30 to 40 veterans a day in active duty. Every day. And one of the things that the American Legion, which we are the largest veteran service organization in the nation, we are there at the White House. We are able to walk the steps and campaign and advocate for our veterans and hold our congressmen and our senators accountable. But the American Legion this year has a Be the One campaign. It only takes one person to help. One person can change a life. One person can reach out, touch you, and that touch, that eye contact, can make a difference between them killing themselves or them moving forward or not. And even this can be applied to everyone in life. We all have our trials and tribulations. We all are going through our problems. We all have skeletons in our closet that we want to keep intact. And if you give that one person, be that person, be the one. Listen. Be quiet and listen. It's not about you. Listen. If you can remember that, just to be quiet and listen, even though we are excited about us and what we're doing, you have to also step back and listen. If you don't listen, one, you're not going to know how you're going to be able to help them in anything, in business, in life. You have to be a good listener. And if you're a good listener, then you'll be a good advocate, you'll be a good business owner. So Be the One campaign really helps us. It's empowering every single veteran to be that one person to your left and right that can help that veteran or that other person in need.
So, and I just want to reiterate that and throw it out there. Can any of you remember a time when somebody was listening to you, where you were struggling in some way, and they listened, and you can tell by the way that they were listening that they cared, and there was that connection, there was that bridge. Can you remember when somebody was like that for you? And the whole point of trajectory in my mind is to create an environment where we can help each other, because maybe somebody isn't a vet. Maybe somebody passed away in their life. Maybe they found out they got some kind of bad disease. Maybe there's something that happened to somebody that they love, or maybe they had to move. Maybe they're all of these things. And like you said, you never know, but you can listen. We all have that ability. And if you do that and you give that time to somebody, it could make a difference. And not only for them, but by helping somebody, and then they turn around and then they can be that for someone else. And then those people turn around and they can. So I do believe that we can create a movement, that we can change the world, even if we start with one person. And the fact that you're doing that is, kudos to you. And thank you, Marissa, for bringing him up here to, inviting him to be part of this. So that being said, it was all somber and stuff, but
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one thing on this this whole military and networking and nonprofit and yeah, it kind of took a little deep turn with the veterans, but it's something that we have to talk about. Elephant in the room. But what I'm trying to say is if you're not involved in a nonprofit and you're in business, you're doing it wrong. Because if you are out there networking and at the same time helping your community, they go hand in hand with each other. It doesn't even feel like you're networking. You're just sitting there talking to the guy and girl to the left and right of you. And then all of a sudden you're exchanging cards and you're like, oh, you do this. And you make a mental note. And that can become a business transaction 6 months or a year down the road. I'm in 6 or 7 boards. Tomorrow's the installation for the Chamber of Commerce. There's going to be about 300 people there. There's 300 opportunities for me to meet and exchange cards with somebody. So it's very important to be one, get back to your community, but also be involved, because that's going to help your business grow as well.
I haven't. Yeah, that's exactly. I can just imagine. I can see your wheels turning, or I can feel. I heard something back here, and I'm like, is he thinking? Or like, because anyway, I didn't know if you had something other way direction that you wanted to throw out there. But Marissa, you had.
Kind of off topic what you just said, but thanking you for the 11 sleeping bags. If anybody here went to the men's event, he donated the sleeping bags. So that was the random giveaway. Thanks to him. And then the second one is I wanted to bring up the fact that he thought of a community center for the young kids to be close to their dads while they're doing their work. He brought up, hey, let's build over here where the kids can hang out so they're close. Because you brought an idea. You can enjoy family, but still get the work done and actually show the kids what you're doing. So I really respected you when you came up with that idea and you're like, we're going to fundraise, we're going to do this. Like the way you think, that you're not afraid of, hey, I thought, Saul's the same way. He'll be able to do what Saul does too. But seriously, David, like there's like a list of just things you said. You're right. You don't know who you impress or who's watching, or you're like, oh, maybe I could, or if he did, maybe me, I don't know, but you're pure. It's good. And, I'm just grateful for all of you guys. I just try to see past all our flaws and just, you know, I want to treat people the way I would like to be treated. Right. So thank you.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
What David didn't emphasize is he's joined these nonprofits as a way to give back. The fact that sometimes business comes of it is a bonus, but it was not his intention. Now, one example is when he joined the American Legion, he saw the American Legion in Corona. There's 2 American Legions. There's one Joe Dominguez post. That's the one where men, veterans of Hispanic heritage, were allowed to go back when World War II ended and after different conflicts. And he saw that it didn't feel as much of a welcoming place physically. So he organized a fundraiser to give that place a real facelift. And it's a place where people enjoy going now and having events, whether they're veterans or not. So it's a really big deal. So thank you for what you do to give back to the community. It's noticed and appreciated.
Awesome.
If I can just add to what Saul said, I mentioned that you walk into this place and it was very depressing, and just takes one person to motivate and get everybody rallied and excited. In the 5 years that I was actively in that post, we raised $500,000 in our community, and by engaging our business owners, the chamber, by engaging our membership and our community, once we broke ground that, hey, we're going to do this, and you have a story to tell, and if you tell it effectively, people were just writing checks. And that's a campaign that just came out of nowhere. It's like, you know what, we're going to start with the kitchen. The kitchen grew to this, to that, to this, to that, and now our whole place is renovated, and we're not done. We're gonna expand the parking lot and build another building this year, God willing.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Wow.
We're sending out for the little
Another event that we do. Anybody else have any questions? Darren. Here, hold on. Get that mic.
So I'm actually a dual business owner, David. I do in-home care and also staffing on the side. And one of the things we have been trying to do for about the past 18 months or so is to start programs where we would hire veterans, right, with our clients to kind of get them back into the workforce. So one of the problems we faced was we had a lot of resumes from veterans, but we couldn't find the companies to partner with to get the hiring process going. So what would be a recommendation where how can we scale that better as to, more companies are willing and, able to give some guy, who just came out of a war an opportunity to, improve the lifestyle.
I mean, unless the veteran is being very picky and he wants only this industry and for this company, I suspect that any veteran, as long as the pay is reasonable, that they'll take it. So maybe we just need to expand the scope when talking to veterans, and instead of focusing on a narrow industry, to see if we can expand it. Because at the end of the day, they haven't worked in the civilian world. They need their foot in the door. So we need to be the advocate for them and guide them and show them, hey, if we open up to this industry, these are the kind of jobs that in 2 or 3 years can possibly transfer over into this other industry.
problem was really the company, our partner companies, marketing to, I think marketing to them as to getting them to agree. Yes, we have a veterans program. Yes, we'll work with you on getting some veterans, off the, on the right track, after war. So that became a challenge. So if you have any advice how I can scale
Yeah.
that better.
I think we just need to sell the qualities of a veteran. Right now our workforce, we're struggling. The new generation they don't want to work. They miss work 2 or 3 times a week, or they only take jobs that are going to be, networking at home, telecommuting. But really a veteran, they've already proven themselves. If they have an honorable discharge, they've proven themselves. That they've shown up to work every day at 04 in the morning, and sometimes staying till 10 o'clock at night. And they can follow orders. If somebody tells them to do something, they're going to do it, and they're going to see it through until the end. The success rate of a veteran is probably a lot higher than the workforce that's coming in now. So I think if we sell that, what they're good at and what qualities they have that separate them from the rest of the workforce, I think you'll be a lot more successful.
Do you have an example?
Yeah.
Risk to ensure. Depends on the company. And I have a sweet.
Realize their value.
I have a tip. Good one.
We kind of scaled it down because they weren't really, it wasn't really a partnership. There's something that we wanted to do, but the other end was kind of nice.
On the other end, and able to hire them.
Yeah, and maybe the economy too, but the economy the last 18 months.
Our employers need to be educated, because they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. They don't understand a veteran. They think that every veteran has a rifle and they've gone to war. Well, for every veteran that's in the front lines, I think the number is 30 other veterans that are supporting him. Truck drivers, admin, you name it. So that one person, that vision of that person at war, there's 30 other veterans supporting him behind the scenes. So we can't forget about that. It's not just them at the front lines. Have a huge skill set to offer.
Give you a tip and say what I would do is research companies that are already doing that and see, like, there's a company called Ability Counts where they're taking people with disabilities and putting them to work, like at thrift stores at different places. So I would do research, and then I would target that industry and just say, hey, I got an opportunity. You could try them out, see if they're working, because you already know that they have roles for people with considered disabilities. There's a big disability expo coming up, by the way. So maybe I would go there. I would invest there, actually. Disability expo. You'd probably really get your wheels turning there. Oh, there was one more thing I was going to tell you. Shoot. It'll come back to me and I'll tell you later.
Anybody else have questions?
So I want to add one thing. We talked about the flaws. Okay. So again, we want to self-reflect. We want to look at who we are and where we came from. Not forget where we came from. Here I am in a 3-piece suit and I have these businesses and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You got to remember where you came from. I was a kid with a single parent, raised in Santa Ana, poor. I moved to Corona my junior year in high school. I got expelled from Corona High School my junior year in high school. I joined the Marine Corps when I was 17 years old. I had to get permission. And so by joining the military, that helped straighten me out and get me away from that environment that was causing me to fail. But, we are all the same. We all have the same opportunities. We just have to make sure that we focus and we have goals and we reach them little by little. And don't be afraid to adjust those goals. A lot of us, we're hard on ourselves. We have these goals. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And the goals sometimes are unattainable. So we have to, every 2 or 3 months, adjust. And that way you're setting yourself for success and not for failure. It feels great to be a winner. and not a loser. So
Awesome.
Great point. Set a goal for 2 or 3 months.
yeah,
See how.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the cool things about this group is like, a lot. I think one of the common bonds that a lot of the people that come to the trajectory meetings have is that they want to give back and help. And we've had so many synchronicities here as far as just amazing things that happen. And a lot of people in this room are very connected as well. So, I mean, just between a handful of us, thousands of people and thousands of resources. So setting goals, one of the main purposes for us is to let people know, to get it out there. And it's a perfect opportunity to do it on the podcast, because you don't know who's listening, who's watching, who we know that can help. So I'll start with you, David. So 2025, what are some of the goals that you have?
Well, each aspect of my life, there's a goal.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that from my personal life, I want to make sure that I continue coaching my son's team and be a good father and a good representation of what a father should be. For my wife, I want to make sure I continue to be a good husband and make sure that her needs are met and that I'm supporting her and she's supporting me. So those are personal goals. Now, when we go into the work goals for my marketing company, I love to grow my business for 25% this year. That's a huge shift, but again, it's a goal for the year. We're gonna adjust it. If I end up at 20% or 15%, still a lot better than the normal 5% that businesses give themselves. On the real estate side, I'd like to close 5 deals this year, 5 families, and it should be 30, but I got to be a realist. The real estate market is not there. The interest rates, inflation, there's a lot of unknown variables. But if I think 5 is attainable, and I'd love to have help 5 families sell or buy a home. And the American Legion, I'm going to be the commander. It's not that I wish. It's not that I'm hoping. I'm going to do it, and I feel that it's attainable. And the only way I'm going to do it is to be out there, to go to a lot of American Legions and campaign and tell my story and why I should earn their vote. Because at the end of the day, like I said, one person can change the whole atmosphere. Right now, our veterans need an advocate, a loud advocate that can change the direction and push it forward to positivity. And I feel like I can do that.
It's interesting. It's interesting the way you said you have a lot more conviction and like certainty with your goal for the Legion, in which you said was your purpose, basically. So that's cool. But I want to invite anybody to want to get it out there, what their goals are, see if we can help, if anybody watching can help. Anybody want to get on the spot and share their goals?
Anyone? Class? Bueller?
It's the first step to make it happen,
I'll share. Yeah.
Right here. You should maybe come up here.
I figure when all else fails.
Nobody out there wants to keep looking at our ugly mugs the whole time when we hear a thing up back there.
Yeah, I think we always start off, we have a lot of goals. And, the first and foremost is reflecting on, what the previous year looked like and being able to ascertain our shortcomings on what those goals are, as long as we continue to make progress. My main goal is to not miss church. That's my main goal. Is I can really look back and I know what, as I build my relationship with Christ and being at church and being in fellowship, what that is doing for me. And because I work from home, sometimes I don't like to get out of the house. And so I need to have that strength in God and faith in my relationship to push me out into the world and network more often. Mine is Special Olympics. So I'm an adult special needs son. I coach 3 sports with Special Olympics. So that is my nonprofit. That is what is nearest and dearest to me. That is what gives me joy. I always say if I could make a living at being in the nonprofit side of thing that makes me feel the best, I'd rather do that. And, as far as my kids, I've got my adult son, Corbin. All I can kind of do is just watch him. He's blazing his trail. I have my son Blake, and all I can do is help him to grow and become a better young man and understand himself better so that he's better for the world. And then as far as my wife, just be there and support her in all the ways that she needs support. Financially, I think being in the same industry, that was a toughie. That's a toughie right now. So all I can do is make myself available to the world and ask for things to come in my life and have purpose. And I think if I have the purpose, like showing up here today and meeting people, showing up to the chamber and all these things like you talked about, which I agree 100%. Showing up to all of those, you just don't know what the day will bring. And I think that's the thing. So that's one of my biggest things is as long as I can show up, and I'm not always good at it. But showing up, that's when the magic happens. And those are my goals. I think my financial goals have always taken care of themselves. They're not as good as they have been, but that's okay. I'll survive.
Who else? Come on.
I'm gonna put myself out there, so I turned it off.
So this one is attached to the people that are listening from there. This one is for the speakers, just so you know. So, both.
Okay, so a little bit of both. So this year is a year of transition for me. So I'm looking for open to new opportunities, and I'm also very excited to become a 2-time best-selling author later this year with Trajectory Volume 2. You'll have me. I have some stories that'll possibly make your hair stand up on end of survival and conquering and moving life to the next level and learning some lessons along the way. Financially, you know what? I liked the way you put your goal, David, which was a grand goal of 25%, but it's just 2% a month, right? Just 2% growth every month, which I think is very attainable. So if we break our goals down into bite size, it's much easier to chew on. So thanks for this forum. This is an example of when you show up, you never know what kind of magic's going to happen. So you don't get these circumstances repeated. So as Derek said, show up. Yeah, it's important.
Marissa.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, no, that's connected to the podcast.
Okay. So my goals are I want to get right with God and I want to marry Danny. I want to be Mrs. Salmeron. I don't know. That's why I go by Marissa Marie, because I don't want a man to label my life. But I also don't mind submitting to men because, anyway, that's my own way of thinking. Like, if we both cook, or if I cook, I don't mind serving. And I like if a man does it too, but Danny won't. He's really macho. And I like that about him.
Get him a grill.
I don't want to change him. He is who he is. And, if he wants to grow in areas, I'll just watch him grow. But he does want to grow. But I don't want to force that on anybody. It's a personal choice. But I want to get right with the Lord and I want to be married. It scares me because I've already been married once. But I feel good when I'm a wife. Like when I'm a full-on wife, like I feel so good. So I want to be one again, with him, of course. But I just I enjoy that title. It's a beautiful thing. And we shouldn't be, because I don't want the first experience to take away from the sweetness of me. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to get tainted and go, that was one person in 8.09 billion people. And if they're going to take over that's not good. You should take a look at that and say, wait a minute, I'm whole and I'm complete. And if I need help, I can ask for that and seek it. Right. But it's hard to have self-acceptance. Anyway, the second goal is I want to be under 200 pounds. and I weigh 224 right now. So that I used to weigh 327 pounds. Like I couldn't fit at restaurants. I couldn't cross my legs. Like it was a very hard lifestyle. I don't want that life anymore, but I know just like that, within a year, it could happen. I have all kinds of addictions. I work on them. I have flaws, but I know I'm all heart. And sometimes that's bad, but most of the time it's good because people need that warmth and that safety to know I'm just human and I love God. He's looked after me a whole lot. And I consider myself to have a gift. I don't like to call it a medium, but it's super, super strong and I struggle with it every single day. But it actually helps me and guides me to be a really great version of myself. So thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Manolo Monter. Most of you know me sometimes as Mr. Funeral Planner. I do funeral planning for the future, right? So I don't focus on anybody. We don't try to talk about it for the present time, right? It's something that we want to pre-plan, make sure that everything's paid for. There's no confusion as to what's going to happen in the future, right? Because you leave everything in writing. It's paid for, you lock in your price. It's sort of an investment because you're saving yourself money 20, 30, 40 years down the road when God does call you home and that time comes, right? One of my goals this year, I call this year the year of Mr. Funeral Planner. So it's not the year of the snake, it's the year of Mr. Funeral Planner. Why is that? Because I'm expanding tremendously this year. I recently signed a deal with an insurance agency to expand my funeral planning agency so that I can hire agents, train them, and mentor them in the appropriate way. Because a lot of people don't know the difference between what's called final expense, which is a nickname for a whole life policy, versus a pre-need, which is another whole life policy assigned to a funeral contract for that purpose. So that's one of my goals. As far as personal, I don't really get too much into that, but my friend that was here, Linda, she also has a son with special needs. That's why she named her insurance agency 321 because of the chromosome, right? You probably know more about that because I forget what it means or what it stands for. But yeah, you guys gotta have great friends like her. I have another great friend who inspired me to lose weight. Recently lost about 55 pounds. I think I gained about 3 or 4 last month.
Nice.
Right? But just maintaining your goal of, or maintaining your mindset of not, working out, things like that, just staying healthy, staying focused, have friends that inspire you or guide you towards faith, right? Whatever faith that may be. And also guide you towards better living of yourself. And for those of you that don't know Saul, I know I've heard his story before, very inspirational. So I'm definitely going to look for your book because your story is really great too as well. So anyway, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. I heard 2 out of every 2 people die. So
Sounds about
you're
right.
in a good business.
Those numbers are skewed.
Come on, man. What you got, Mustafa? I'm sorry, I got to call you out because that's why we're here.
Thank you for the great meeting here. From the personal side, I'm going to leave that one alone because personal is definitely attainable in terms of wealth and so forth. But in terms of business, I'm a new small business owner. So obviously the mindset that I do have is looking at it from a month-to-month perspective, as you mentioned earlier, is shortening up the goals to bite-sized chunks so that we can achieve a great year towards the end, as well as growing the organization and company. So I just started a new home inspection business. I am an engineer by profession, electrical engineer. So I've been in construction my whole life, and wanted to expand and start my own business because obviously I was a forcepreneur, not an entrepreneur. When you mentioned that, it did click because I am one of those individuals. I'm really looking forward to the new year and hoping that I can grow my own home inspection business and bring people with the mindset that you're buying a new home or an old home with educated decisions in place. Thank you.
Yeah. Who else? Come on, Manuel. What you got? Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, the manual, like the manual book.
I like what you were saying about not letting off, right? You can take a break, but you got to stay consistent, and that stuck out to me from what he was saying. Consistency is everything. Just being consistent. So my goal is to continue staying consistent like I have been, but I never really asked for too much because I always thought I had it all right. I've been blessed. But after last week's trajectory class, Jay's got me on a different level. So we're now I'm gonna start asking for things that I didn't usually would ask for, right? And to help me continue on my path and helping others, being a mentor and helping with my music. And so that's what my goal is.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
You inspire people with your music, dude.
So I like how you were, how like what you said about like how having people around you that have a purpose only, and letting go of people that don't have a reason to be around you, and that kind of inspired me because I had people come around me sometimes, and it would be like, what is the purpose of being around these people when they're not doing nothing but dragging me into nothing but danger and failures and all that. So this year in 2025, I want to work on myself and being a better man and finding the right people and the right connections and just, just being, like he said, consistent and being more focused. And that's my goal for 2025.
Awesome.
No, no, I'm behind you. I'm not letting him escape.
Everybody.
Okay, this is gonna be short and sweet, but I like what you said, Dave, starting your introduction. What's that term?
Forcepreneur.
Entrepreneur. Yeah, and the thing is into the society, that's where most of us are going to end up in, as in, well, for instance, myself. Okay, I retired last January. I've been like laying the playing field for myself and got direction. But as 2025, getting with trajectory has given me a new lease, because I have to break some locks, which is what we have to do to propel ourselves into the area that we want to do. And for me, I'm a business solutions expert. That's where I specialize in. But in that, there is so many faucets where I'll be able to focus as to employee benefits and as to families, but everyone wants to be of service. I had 11 years in the Marine Corps myself, so I got a background, 33 years in healthcare. Now, it's like you said, there's people in the background, and I was 33 years in Kaiser in supplies, but 11 years in the Marine Corps. So I was in that background, the support service. And that's where I am now after retiring, after 40-something years in the workforce. I figure I have a tool, something that's going to help me help people. But they have to want to help themselves, right? And business owners, I see that they are going to be the ones more likely to be able to receive, a valuable resource for themselves. And so,
Everybody needs what you do, Anthony.
Huh?
Everybody needs what you do.
Yeah, everyone needs it, you know, individuals, families, you know, business owners, and at the lower level, mom and pops, you know, but it's like everyone here just wants to be better than we were the day before. And you know, that saying 1% better. And all you have to do is have a goal, moving toward that goal. And you're 1% better. And at the end of the year, you're 100% better than you were when you started.
What industry are you in?
Well, I'm in the legal and identity theft. And identity theft is the number one, you know, what you say, number one crime in the US. And in some cases, they say it's an outbreak. What is that? I gotta come to this. I don't think my tongue, but yeah, but
Okay.
I know we all got some lofty goals, and you know, money isn't one of mine. You know, but and it's going to be kind of like one of those things. It's you are going to. It's like oh, it's oh man. It's just going to come just because it's a part of you know the whole the process. It's just one of the entities that's involved. It's I know this. You're going to get it by osmosis, right? It's just going to come.
That's a big word.
This year.
Oh, Toastmasters.
Speeches was goals for Toastmasters?
Yes.
Yeah, went down.
What's the next Toastmasters meeting?
Mikey, come on up here. Yeah, you gotta get your. How you gonna thrive? What's your goals?
Okay, my goals look like big nets. And no, I'm just kidding. You know what? My goal is already happening. You know, my goal is to get up every day, be grateful that I'm up, another day not promised. I don't look too far ahead, even though I'm starting to see like I need a calendar now to start writing things down. I'm having to remember again, which is different. No, because I don't plan for stuff. I wasn't the guy that planned. And now I got to start planning and writing stuff in books so I could let everybody know, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. And now I'm getting responsibilities again. And my only responsibility was my family, my nephew, my family, whatever. And that was it. If they were good, I was good. Now I'm being a part of something bigger than me, and it's a blessing. It honestly saved my life because I was struggling through things. I was going through stuff that only I knew, and nobody else really knew, and some of them still don't, so it's like but I got a band of brothers, and I got a I feel blessed, and it's just, and then the sister over there, of course, she's been lifting us all up, to be honest. Marissa is doing an incredible job. My hat's off to her. You know what I mean? I mean, she's amazing. She's thriving. Um, and I know, and we all are, So I guess my goal to thrive in 2025 would be, of course, to be in a better place in 2026. But you know, money always helps. Money's good, but it won't be the motivator. It won't be. And I'm inspired by your story, and I'm willing to invest in that myself. So, I'm excited about looking forward to that. And just thriving with my brothers and allowing God to continue to work in my life, you know? And just watch, just see, you know? Thank you.
Pam, do you? Mikey's got the mic.
Oh,
Oh, it's about time.
Want to close it out with C Towner?
Come on, see, Tom. Well, I was thinking because we got AJ still,
Oh, okay.
you and then me. But if we close it out with him, then he can sing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So come on up here. Come on up here. Yeah, but give the mic to AJ real fast because you're gonna be the closer.
Oh, okay.
C Towner is the closer.
Closer. Bring it in for the close. Good to see you again. Hey guys, I'm AJ. If you were here at the casino night, I was your DJ creating all that noise where you guys were playing. I brought a little sound for you guys. I really appreciate the inspiration tonight, David. It's so good to just come together and hear some positivity, to be encouraged, to decide intentionally we want to be better people all the way around, better fathers, better men, better women, better everything in our lives, whatever roles we have. So I'm always grateful to be a part of these things. Scotty and I have kind of hit it off. I really appreciate this guy's got a lot of energy. And I'm the new guy. I'm the new kid on the block because I just moved to Eastvale not too long ago. I became part of the chamber. My goals for this year are to just create more relationships like this, network a little bit more, have some connects with people close to home. I drive a lot with my work. Very interesting, quick note on this. I have a couple of very interesting hats that I wear, and they're very extreme because I love to DJ and I do it as part of my hobby and also professionally with a little extra money here and there when it comes in. But my main grind is I'm a hospice chaplain. So I'm involved in people's most joyous moments, weddings, network events, anniversaries, birthday parties, gatherings of festivity and greatness. And then I'm called to help people walk through a process of recognizing that we don't live forever and that it's time to start doing some inventory about the things that matter and just carefully walking them through in their traditions of faith and their understanding of God and their own beliefs. And it's a very sobering job. And so I'm grateful for the DJ because it's therapeutic to have that. But that's kind of my life. And so I just want to be the best I can be in what God has provided for me to do to sustain my family and for the things that I put my energy into. And I'll just leave you with a quick little quote here that I really love. I am not where I need to be, but by God's grace, I'm not where I was before.
You get to drop the mic. Mic drop. Jason, wait, not you yet. You're the closer. We got Jason still.
We got music.
Pam. Oh, what's your song? Were you gonna perform?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, you have.
Is it somewhere I could grab online? Bluetooth?
Why don't you give me that mic and go talk to AJ, and then Jason is gonna tell us his goal.
My goal. Okay. Well, I don't think I need this one here.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We got these mics. Okay. So my kind of journey through life has been, a lot of it was being an entrepreneur. But as things happen in my life, and a lot of people know the story of how I wrote a book and became a coach and kind of fell onto, I believe, like a message that was given to me that I need to share. So as hard times happened in my life, it's a long story, but my father passed away, my mother had pancreatic cancer, and then it was like a whole year I had to live away from my house. A lot of things switched where, okay, it's really not about the money. I need to do what I was here to do. And that was the focus. But the issue is that I still love being an entrepreneur, but I try to almost make it seem like it was a bad thing to kind of grow these businesses, because I know it's not, what I was here to do. But what I realize is that part of my life is what kind of propels my ability to share the message. And I realized that. So this year, my goal, a lot of it has to do with building my entrepreneurship up again, but also making sure that message gets out there. And I set like a exact goal that I want to get it to 1 million people. So this year, I want to get that message to 1 million people. Yeah.
$1 million this year. That's my goal. I want to be able to buy myself a house, to have that space where I can thrive, because where I'm at right now is not real positive. It's kind of a little bit negative. I live with my mother. Thank God for her. She's been very, very generous and good to me, and I'm so thankful for her. And at the same time, that's not where I belong. So I am going to try the hardest I can to become the best I can be. And opportunity, I need to take advantage of it, or I need to get out of my own way, is what it is. That's one of my goals. It's not to be so hard on myself and just keep on doing it, and focus in on my growth, professionally and personally, and yeah. So, and be around positive people. So I am not where I used to be. I don't know where I'm actually going yet, but I know it's going to be somewhere good. So, okay, thanks.
So my goal is to buy a helicopter by the end of the year. I've always, yeah, I know. I always have to, do extreme
Full
things.
size or a toy?
No, toy, of course, because I can afford that RC. I've been working on it. But no, I think it would be really cool to be able to afford a helicopter. It's not it's not a financial thing. Money has never really motivated me, because if I want to do something, if I'm broke, I'm gonna do it. I'll figure out a way. I'll find somebody. Will whatever it is. Money will not get in my way if I want to do something. Um, I don't care about having things either. It's not so much that. I've gone through all these different things about setting goals, and I've tried to set financial goals, and I've tried to set production goals, and I've tried to, and sometimes if you set goals too lofty and you don't achieve them, then you kind of kick yourself in the butt, and it kind of can be detrimental, right? But how cool is it if I could buy a helicopter? You know?
That helicopter.
That's yeah, so 3 helicopters would be even better. But so if anybody out there has a connection to helicopters, Scott Donnelly, I know you do, and I've called you and you haven't called me back yet, so I'm still waiting. But either way. Okay, so it's getting out there, and we're gonna test Jason's manifesting. So I own a helicopter, and I have a helicopter pad in my backyard, so I can piss my neighbor off. You're watching. Anyway, I love you, right? We're neighbors. We gotta love each other. And that being said, with the closer, you guys hooked. You guys got it?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So we're gonna close with Sea-Towners.
My 2025, what do you call it?
Goal.
Goal
20.
is, and Thrive is to pretty much just I was just talking to Marissa about this. I want to be a part, and be a part of the chambers. I want to really get involved with things that's happening in Corona. There's a lot of people, a lot of things that are going on, and we need to be a part of it. We need to be a part of what happens in Corona. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for that, go ahead and put that
Well, what's your goal?
My goal is to be a part, to be a part more, get more definitely involved with things in the city. That's the goal.
There you go.
Here we go. I love you. Oh, sentimental reason. I hope you believe me. I've given you my heart. Girl, I love you, and you will always meant for me. Yeah. Please give your love, and love is hard to me, and never, never part.
I think of you every morning. Think of you every night. Girl, I'm never lonely whenever you're inside. Hey, I love you. I love you. And you will always be for me. Yeah. Please give your love and loving heart to me. And stay with never part. I love you, yes, yes, I love you. Like, I'm going out and I'm singing and just, I was just Saturday, was just up with legends, singing with the Midnighters and Guerra and El Chicano, just like up there on stage with them and just, that's what I want. Because I want to do this full time too,
That's what I was getting at.
Just getting up and over. Thank you.
Guys, thank you for showing up. You have anything out there you want to say?
It's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Awesome.